Hi guys, doing the SU 100 which I bought a while ago. I love my Russian tanks, and it's a late war Soviet tank destroyer with a 100mm gun. You don't really understand the size of the gun until you fit it right at the end of the construction of the model. Apparently it's still in use today with Yemen, North Korea and North Vietnam, so it's a successful tank. If you built a T-34, you might find it a bit boring. Most of the components are from the T-34, and then just the gun and the lack of a turret make it stand out from that. There's the box art. Lovely thing once it's done. But like I say, it got a bit monotonous because I've made a few tanks that are based on the frame of the T-34, especially the tracks, which in this weren't the stretchy vinyl type. They were the pieces, and the road wheels. There's not a sprocket. There's just the standard wheels. A bit tedious, but then I just love the Russian tanks. I bent up all the mud guards. You can see along the side. Plenty of damage on there from driving down country roads, driving across Germany. I actually think this one is a post-war version, because I did the diesel tanks on the back, and the photographs that I've seen, when the additional diesel tanks are at the very back, it's the post-war one. So yeah, I just used 5mm foam board. I've got a thing at the moment where I'm trying to practice my buildings a bit more, trying to create something a bit more interesting 3D on my dioramas. Just bought a box of A4 sheets on eBay. Touched a little bit of plaster on the base, my usual effect with the coffee grounds mixed in to make it a bit more granular. And I did like a little bit of a facade on the foam as well, stucco or whatever you'd call that, like render. And it made it very stable. I don't know if it's a great effect, but it did make it very sturdy. The trees were just the usual thing that I use, dried pieces of dead heather. So before weathering, some pictures before weathering. By the way guys, got a new camera. The one I was using, I was probably using it wrong, but the one I was using kept having focusing problems, so I went for the Fuji XT20 in the end. Beautiful thing, like a vintage retro steel, brush steel finish on it. Lovely. And you'll have to comment guys and let me know whether you think it's better. It certainly felt better to use. And so what have I skipped so far to get to this place? I mixed like a wet plaster mixture with light brown paint to use on the tracks. I underpainted coats of dark grey and then light rust, and then I did a clear coat to seal that in. Then I used hairspray. Gunship green is the colour, the Vallejo colour, gunship green, which is the green from RAF camouflage, RAF Spitfire camouflage. So and then brushed through the green back to the grey and rust colours for just general wear. The wheels I left grey and rust, didn't put any green on them, and I've used a mixture of plaster dust, paint, and water on the wheels, mainly because I can never get a smooth finish when I have to build the tracks in little plates. I just struggle with that so much. So I try and cover up my mistakes, the flaws of it. I think light rust and dark grey coming through, distressed green, I think it's just a really good combination. Using the plaster and the paint, I've tried to do a combination of dark and light mud, and that's like a dried on, crusted on light mud, and then a wet, darker mud. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I don't know whether you think it's a good effect. You always see it on vehicles where mud has dried on the wheels, and then they've gone back through wet mud. There often seems to be a two-tone effect, and I like that. Some lovely decals came with this. It's just a motivational kind of, paid for by the people of Uzbekistan, I think it was, something like that, is the slogan that's painted on the side of this particular tank. Look at that gun, it's fantastic. Yeah, I've done a Sherman as well recently, and I've put a building in that diorama. I'll try and make a quick video of it at the weekend. But I love buildings in dioramas, but I just find them difficult. To make realistic. But I think they're worthwhile when they're done. I think they look good. So I'm gonna try and practice, and it's one of them, innit? You never, you're dissuaded in a way by something being your first attempt to not being where you want it to be. The natural feeling is to not bother, is to stop trying. But you've got to expect it to be poor the first time you do it, and the third and fourth time you do it, it'll be hopefully a lot better. I didn't want to go too mad on the weathering, so I just used a little bit of the black pin wash just on the tracks and the vents in the engine compartment, the engine covers. You see what I mean about the additional 2 diesel tanks at the back? I think that dates it to after the Second World War. Anyway, it's done now. There's only typical Soviet uniforms, and a pretty nondescript building and a muddy road, so we could call it 1948, we can call it whatever. I didn't go too mad on the rust effects. I love that collection of paints that I've got, the Vallejo rust effects. Little box, little set. But I didn't want to get carried away with myself as I have in the past. Well, there's still a bit of folks in the shoes, but it's a nice clear picture. It's one of these mirrorless cameras, so I'm new to using it. Well, hopefully I'll get the hang of it in time. So that's it on the diorama. Some tufts of 10mm. I think it was 10mm. Some tufts of 10mm grass. I just bought off eBay. Some AK still water effects, which I'm still not mastering. Now you can see that rust and grey. Such a good combination that to distress, to take the top layer of your whatever. I could think white would have worked as well. It's just a really good base. The temptation was there to do snow, with it being Russian and the guys in trench coats. But I'm trying to not fall into the rut of doing the same one every time. But no, I'm quite pleased with that. I did do the little the roofs, thinking that I would put snow on them. Well, there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Cheers.